I'd like to welcome Oliver Cameron to give us a presentation. He's his co-founder and CEO of Voyage, if you didn't know that. And again, Oliver, great background. I know you for a number of years were working with Udacity, and developing the curriculum around all of this to help, again, part of the whole infrastructure of everything we're doing is having well-educated, knowledgeable people to help in the development. I'm going to turn it over to you and look forward to your comments.
Excellent. Well, thank you for having me here. And yes, I didn't want to, pardon me, I didn't want to let all these students around the world have all the fun. So we decided to build a self-driving car company ourselves as well. 1 second here while I share my screen. Okay. Excellent. Okay. So hello, everyone. My name is Oliver Cameron and I am Voyage's co-founder and CEO. In this 15 minutes, I want to share how we at Voyage are building a robotaxi company. There are some incredibly profound shifts happening right now in mobility. We've all seen this with the rise of electric vehicles, and I predict there's this coming wave of fully autonomous vehicles that is going to have a far more profound impact on our daily lives. And we're very eager to share our story about how we're going to play a part in this very large wave. As we all know, self-driving cars are going to dramatically change lives for the better. This technology is going to, prevent needless death. It's going to give independence back to those who don't have it today. And what's really magical about what we're doing at Voyage is that we found a way to deliver these benefits and more sooner than many other companies in our industry. And we've also accomplished this with millions of dollars, not billions of dollars. Okay, so let's talk about our approach to robotaxis, which is fast, cheap, and defensible. It's fast because we begin by serving calm communities and towns, which the state of the art in machine learning and robotics is ready to handle today. It's cheap because we don't need to employ thousands of people researching unsolved problems in artificial intelligence. And it's defensible because we sign agreements to be the exclusive robotaxi provider in our communities. And this approach has been working over our 4 years of existence. We've built a working state-of-the-art self-driving technology, which I'll show you an inside look at in a few slides. We've partnered with an automaker and successfully integrated our technology into a special edition vehicle. We've signed an exclusive deal with a 125,000 resident community that lays a clear path to our first $100 million in robotaxi revenue. And we've also prepared to scale by signing operational partnerships with mobility operators and insurance companies. Our go-to-market is really not just predicated on speed and time to market. It's really also about being very, very customer obsessed. Adoption of any new technology, especially when it involves 3-ton vehicles moving people without a human in the front seat, is going to be challenging. And so we have begun by serving those who stand to benefit the most from robotaxis. That's a really important differentiator of Voyage. And we believe that is senior citizens. And the fastest path to then go and serve this, valuable customer is the calmer roadways of retirement communities. And this is where you can have populations of up to 125,000 seniors, still blows my mind, in a single location. The data, really backs up just how compelling the case for seniors really is. Today, there are over 40 million US seniors, and that grows by 10,000 people every single day. These seniors take over 153 million car trips. Seniors struggle the most with driving their own vehicles. They pay about 80% more per mile due to increased insurance costs and reduced commutes, more per mile than a non-senior. And they also face 17 times the risk of a fatality in a car accident. And as a result, seniors, or 74% of seniors, have cut back on their driving. And each and every year, 600,000 seniors give up driving entirely. But seniors do want and are willing to pay for an alternative to driving their own vehicles. 71% of the seniors in our partner communities would use a robotaxi service today. And this is compared to 52% of Americans. So seniors really do present the most valuable, fastest growing, and untapped segment in robotaxis. And given the calmer roadway and the dense population of seniors in retirement communities, this is the best possible distribution channel to reach this customer. And how we think of this internally is that just like Facebook began on college campuses with their power users, students, before they expanded downstream to take over the world, that's effectively our same approach. Seniors are our power users where we begin. We've signed agreements with 2 retirement communities, and these lay a clear path to our first $100 million in revenue. We deployed at the villages in San Jose 3 years ago. This location is where we really ready our technology, our product, and our unit economics before we scale to Florida. Why Florida? Well, given our initial focus on serving seniors, Florida is our largest market. It also happens to have the most progressive AV regulatory framework in the world, de-risking the permission necessary to remove the safety driver within our vehicles. We're going to begin to scale in Florida next year in a big way, beginning with the villages in Florida. This is the world's largest retirement community with over 125,000 residents today, growing to 250,000 residents, blows my mind, over the next 20 years. These residents today take about 180,000 daily trips in their vehicles, and this results in a very large transportation opportunity for Voyage, especially so because by working with the community and serving the real needs of these communities, we ask for region exclusivity in these locations, meaning that we are the only robotaxi provider serving these particular locations. So while we start with seniors and retirement communities, we're going to gradually expand our customer base and the geographic scope to one day, and I won't give a date, but one day form a leading national robotaxi provider. The US transportation market, as we know, is very, very large. It's worth about $2.4 trillion. Most other companies we see at least are focused on the 2/3 of the market of large and mid-sized cities. This makes sense when you look at ride hailing today. Voyage, though, is very focused on the remaining third, which is communities, towns, and small cities. Think about small town USA. This today is a market worth $780 billion and a market that human-driven ride hailing hasn't really perfected just yet due to the density mismatch of riders and drivers. Okay, let's talk about technology. So due to our traction and approach, we are soon to launch a fleet of driverless vehicles without the need for safety drivers in the front seat. As I mentioned earlier, this is a very profound moment in our industry where we're going to start to see thousands and hundreds of thousands of people regain lost independence as a result of this technology. To accomplish this milestone, at Voyage, we built 4 proprietary pieces of technology. We call them Commander, Shield, Teleassist, and the G3 robotaxi. And I'll dive into those right now. Okay, so Commander is really the brain of our technology. It's responsible for perceiving the world and then making safe, intelligent driving decisions. Powering Commander is a number of robust and state-of-the-art algorithms in areas like 3D object detection, semantic segmentation, stereo vision, stateful decision-making, and a lot more. Key to our approach is that communities and towns can be solved by the current state-of-the-art of these technologies today. Cities, on the other hand, really demand that the state-of-the-art be pushed beyond what can be done today, which is why you see such high development costs in order to bring a robotaxi to life. Then we have Shield, which is our intelligent automatic emergency braking system. If Commander, in a very rare event, was to make an erroneous decision, then Shield is there as this very, very reliable and validated backup system to hit the brakes and bring the vehicle to a safe state. We're currently in the process of validating Shield according to a number of automotive standards, and this will effectively mean we have a hardened and battle-tested system that enables us, along with other technologies we've developed, to remove the need for a safety driver. Our initial focus on calm communities and towns has accelerated Shield because triggering the emergency braking system while driving at high speeds can, of course, cause really disastrous consequences. And that means that these systems require many years of extra validation and refinement. Due to our initial focus on calmer locations, we've already been able to deliver a comprehensive backup system in Shield. And then Teleassist. This is one of my favorite pieces of technology that we built. And effectively what it does is enable Voyage to handle a variety of different edge cases today. We don't have to wait years to experience them. We don't have to algorithmically solve every possible edge case. Instead, when the vehicle encounters an edge case, it defers control of the vehicle to a remote human. And what we've done to make this entirely safe is build what we call the Teleassist pod, which is what you can see in that middle picture there. The pod is a proprietary and custom-built automotive-grade workstation that enables our remote assistance team to safely and remotely drive the car through tricky situations like abnormal construction, wild animals not moving in the road, vehicles boxing us in, all these sorts of things that do happen on in the real world in a frequent basis. We can handle all those without the need for a safety driver in the vehicle. Okay, so let's talk about the G3. To complete the puzzle to remove the safety driver, Commander, Shield, and Teleassist are then deeply integrated into our G3 vehicle. The G3 is our first vehicle that's ready for driverless operation, meaning a host of safety systems are implemented, resulting in no need for a human behind the wheel. And key to pulling this off is our partnership with Fiat Chrysler. The G3 is built atop a special edition version of the AV-ready Chrysler Pacifica. This vehicle has numerous hardware and firmware modifications necessary for driverless operation. And the G3, importantly, for our ability to launch large-scale services, is also 50% cheaper than our G2 due to partnership benefits and plummeting hardware costs from companies like Velodyne. Okay, so what we are doing is ambitious, of course, but I want to be also clear that we are taking a fundamentally different path to deliver robotaxis than some of the companies you've particularly seen. And doesn't mean that their approaches are bad and our approach is better. It just means that we're taking a different path. The way we think about this internally is that Voyage today, and forgive the bravado here, but Voyage today resembles Amazon in 1995, because Amazon didn't begin by launching the everything store, right? They began by launching a humble online bookstore, and that did not, of course, solve the world overnight. But that was really, the point of Amazon in the early days. They focused on a single product, a single customer, and as a result of that just maniacal focus, they de-risked the birth of e-commerce, which at the time, as I'm sure we'll all remember, was a controversial, a novel, and very complex technology. And the speed to market really enabled them to upend and eventually dominate far larger rivals because they were just insistent on getting to market with a product that people really needed and would embrace. So how does this translate to Voyage? Well, we are also being pragmatic about delivering a novel, complex, and what is sure to be a controversial technology. Our approach de-risks the delivery of a robotaxi with no safety driver. There really is no leap of faith or advancement in machine learning necessary for us to solve communities and towns. This technology is ready today, and that is key to our approach. Our approach also de-risks the customer adoption of this radical and new technology. We're not focused on, serving customers who want to use a robotaxi for, a infrequent date night or something that is supplementary to them driving their own vehicle. We're really insistent that we should start with a customer who has the most to gain from this technology, and thus demand will not be as big of a challenge for us as we see for some of the others in this particular industry. And with the contractual region exclusivity and the COVID battling hardware, We didn't talk about that, but in our G3, we've installed ambulance-grade UVC lights. We're very well positioned to fight off competitors and COVID concerns with ride-hailing. And we're just at 15 minutes, but that's a wrap. We believe we're building a robotaxi business like a startup should. Start humble, build the technology incrementally, all the while generating revenue while hyper-focusing on a customer with a tremendous need for a robotaxi.
Hey, thank you very much for the great presentation. I've seen lots of great comments on it, Oliver. I appreciate that. It's fun that you start off as saying you're starting off as the Facebook, you're ending up as the Amazon. So
there you go.
That's not a bad trajectory if you're going to go that path.
Hopefully one of those lands.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, I just got to ask real quick. Again, when we talk about autonomous vehicles, and when we really get into the weeds, sometimes we talk about the way that it drives. In other words, anytime we're driving somebody, sometimes you're late to the airport or you're on a scenic road. So, but the aggressive or non-aggressive nature, I mean, can you dial that into a certain way if you're dealing then again with your particular clients?
So this is a very important point that we could spend another 15 minutes talking about. But what is really important is that our customers don't expect our vehicles to drive like a human, because in fact, that's a benefit. For example, in our communities, our residents that we work with love the fact that we come to a stop at an intersection and we wait a number of seconds before we embark through that intersection. There's a fair few people, I'm sure we've all done this, who come to an intersection and spend a few microseconds waiting before embarking. And our customers love the predictability. But there is a certain amount of assertiveness that is important to encode in your robotaxi to ensure that trips can be done safely. So think about unprotected turns. There were a few clips there in our video of unprotected turns. You cannot be ultra conservative when you decide to go at an unprotected turn. You have to be assertive in your ability to navigate through those situations. So it's really a balance. In the situations where assertiveness is warranted, we have to encode that in the vehicle. But when it's not, customers love the predictability of these robotaxis.
Oliver, I have lots of other questions, and including things like, again, you're picking a geo-fencing, perhaps an area that might be a benign place to drive. However, you've already identified the drivers around there may not be as attentive or be able to react accordingly. Again, how far you can go, where these trips are. So many questions, but we are out of time. I really appreciate it, and I encourage everyone that's participating here today to learn more about Voyage and what you're doing. See, you already have a couple of some information on the web about your developments in Florida and in San Jose at the villages. So congratulations, and we wish you well. Thanks for being here today more than anything.
Really. No, thank you.